We're going. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, High Button Podcast. We're talking into these mics. They call this a podcast. Really, it's the best job in the world. We get to sit here and chat it up, and you guys listen, you guys watch. Very fortunate. Hockey is oozing out through my eyeballs lately. The only thing that makes me happy right now is sitting down on a couch and watching hockey. I don't know what about. It's like what do you call it? The dog days. It's the dog days of the hockey season. Just grinding through it, just doing whatever we can to make it one day at a time, but also at the same time realize how fortunate we are to watch all this hockey. So, good life. The name of the company is High Button Sports. Cohen to my right on the keys. Jeff Warburton to my left talking into the mic, and then the gentleman sitting right across from me, Matthew Dudelay. How is everybody doing this morning? We're in February, boys. Jeff, we'll start with you.
Doing good. Back at it. Glad dude's got his passport. Time to hit the road. Snowing every day, freezing in Halifax. Dog days is exactly how I'd put it.
Yeah.
That was great, Jeff. Dude.
I agree. He took my thunder on the passport, but no.
I was so excited, man.
I picked it up this morning. Obviously got it a while back, but didn't trust Canada Post, so I picked it up myself and paid a little extra fee, but no harm done, and now we're ready to travel the world, as Mr. Howard said, down at the passport office. So there you go.
Are you going to tell the story about how your twin was at the passport office with you? Or is that too...
No, it was just weird. Like, I walk in there, it's packed, obviously. That's for everybody getting their passports. Luckily, I got ahead of it for once in my life. I was ahead of something. Still, by a fraction, though, I got it in just in time.
2 weeks ahead.
Anyways, I walk in, and obviously you can see me now wearing my lumberjack coat here. Copped this bad boy for Christmas. Been pretty pumped about it ever since, and until about this morning when I walked in, and only one other lady in there getting her passport picked up, and wouldn't you know it, she had the same coat on. So I thought, okay, red and black lumberjack coat, pretty standard jacket, could be different. Just so everybody knows, this is brand name, Realtree. Zoom in on that later.
They don't pay us any ads.
Oh, yeah,
Real
sorry.
Tree.
Fake tree. Anyways, walk in, I look at the jacket, I'm going, okay, that looks similar, and what are the odds the only other person in there is wearing the same one? Worst part was she turned around and realized herself and goes, twinning, and I was just like, oh God.
Did you have a coffee in you at this point?
I had about a third of a coffee. It was still up in the cup holder, so, and it was, it's early, not for some people, but anyways, that happened, so I was like, okay, this is funny. Now, not only did she have the same jacket on, but pretty much the same undershirt, a gray shirt. It wasn't a hoodie, which is funny because I had a waffle shirt on this morning, but I switched to the hoodie. So we would have been the exact same. She had black Under Armour pants on, which is exactly what I have on. And it was just weird. Even the guy at the desk was like, hey, man, you guys brother and sister or something like that? And I was like, of course, I'm going to hear it from this passport guy. We'll just kind of leave it at that. It was. I don't know how I felt about it. I was like, okay, we're wearing the same jacket, but it was certainly something that that woke me up this morning for sure. Like, what are the odds, of all the people in there?
I remember growing up in Nova Scotia, there wasn't too much there wasn't too many options to shop around at. Like, there was no Simons or big retail stores back in the day here. It was just Gap, American Eagle, Winners. Every now and then you cop something. So every now and then you'd go to the bar and you would just see a guy wearing the same shirt as you. It was a very common thing in Nova Scotia. Like, if it wasn't you, your buddy more than likely had a shirt on that someone in the downtown Halifax core was wearing. And whenever you made eye contact with the guy that was wearing the same shirt, it was just known. It was like, you stay over there, I'll stay over here. Hopefully we both have a good night. Let's just not run into each other. I remember that happening a couple times. It was just Nova Scotia's only so big, and you can only buy so many shirts around here.
We can't have two shirts on the same side of the building. That's the point, right? You stay over there with your shirt. But
It's like girls with their dresses, man. They show up. That's like a nightmare, I guess.
yeah, it's like it reminded me of when I first walked in. My first thought process was, this is what it's like to have a Stanley in your hand as a female, because they all have them these days, these cups. So it's like walking in, I was just like, not only are we wearing the same coat, but we're wearing the same everything. The only difference was her hair was a little better than mine. So
when I was in that crumble cookie line, that was incredible.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It matched the girls with the puffer,
yeah.
the jeans, and the Uggs. That was really trippy for me. Everything, it was all the same.
It's all trends now, right? Like, it's not that no one doesn't have their own style. It's just like even at home with the wife or whatever, it's like, oh, this is in style now. It's like, oh, is it? Like, I've just been wearing, Under Armour track pants and hoodies for, 15 years now, or probably haven't been able to afford it for that long. But anyways, it's just like whatever's catching people's eyes now, like they just go out and buy it right away. Puffer jackets, Stanleys, Uggs, like you name it. It's just no one really like is the first person to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems it's not like, oh, look at this person has their own style and then everybody else kind of copies it. It's just like whatever the trends are online, basically.
My fashion is whatever belly gets me or tells me to wear pretty much at this point. I'm on my 3rd jacket from you, which
Had
is
a live
obviously
streaming. You
appreciated.
got to look good.
Yeah.
You got to like.
I always tell this story at the start of this year when I was wearing the white one, and I was wearing it like the Sherpa. And I was wearing it like consistently. Got it in Montreal. Liked it. It was a nice kind of like fall jacket. And then I just like come in one day. You're like, you still got that black jacket I gave you? I was like, yeah. It's just in my closet. I was just kind of feeling this one. You're like, oh yeah. I like that black one. I was like, all right. Point taken. Just have not taken it off since.
I was just I just said that because it was like
I trust
cold.
you. I trust you. I was like, all right, time to bring it out. This one needs that little wash and be put away for the winter.
Too much Patagonia going on.
See you in the spring.
So funny story about Patagonia. We just got a pizza oven at the cottage, and my dad is like obsessed with it. And Patagonia jackets, like the puffer ones, how that outside layer is so thin. And pizza ovens, they're hot as hell. So if you put your hand anywhere near it, you almost have to wear a glove, especially if you put your sleeve in it, could burn a sleeve. So I go to the cottage on the weekend and I see the Patagonia jacket like just hanging up over the railing. And my dad's outside. I'm like, Dad, why aren't you wearing your jacket? It's freezing out. He goes, oh, pizza oven got me. I'm like, what do you mean it got you? He goes, well, it didn't get me. It got the jacket. Look at the sleeve. And so the Patagonia sleeve is just like burnt to a crisp all down the right-hand side because he was trying to flip his pizza in the oven. So that's how hot it got. And I was like, oh, man, I'll take it back because you're going to get these things repaired in the city, Patagonia. Like, go repair it. But anyways, I just lost it. My dad's flipping pizzas and just burnt the whole sleeve of his jacket. I was just losing it. Which, by the way, does get hot. I tried it for the first time. These pizza ovens, it's like wood burning.
Yeah.
And you chuck a pizza in there and a minute later it's cooked. You have to like watch it. You can't just like leave it, go talk to someone, come back, or else it'll be a crisp.
It's not a 25-minute pre.
It's an art.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how they do it in like Italy and stuff like that. It's all like the wood fired, and they're just in and out, in and out, in and out, super quick.
With this YouTube era, everyone thinks they're a chef. There's only YouTube, like 20 years ago, who's buying pizza ovens? No one.
It's like, I'll have them.
Yeah, I'll just chuck it in the oven. That's my pizza oven. But now you got Chef Gordon Ramsay in Italy on the Mafia coast chucking a pizza in a pizza oven. It's like, oh, I want to do that.
You can go on TikTok and like learn how to build your own
pizza
oven.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's that's how they used to do it. Was like bricks and mortar and stuff like that, because that's what would hold the heat, right? But that's how they. When I went to Italy, that's what they made their pizzas in. But it wasn't like the fancy, metal ones that you put on your counter. It was like, these people built these things in the prehistoric times, and they've just withstand the test of time, basically. But it's a much better pizza, I think.
Yeah, it was good. It was hard to explain. It was like crustier. It was like crunchier.
Crispy?
Yeah.
Crispier? Yeah, it was like crispier.
Well, the wood fire kind of gives it that little bit of a smoky taste too,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not just like your metal pizza stone that's been in your oven for, like in my case, we have a pizza stone that sits in the oven all year round, right? So it just collects things all year. But the pizzas like that are way better. But I did want to ask, did your dad learn his lesson? You can't stick your arm in the pizza oven. There's gotta be something
so
there.
now what he wears something like that. That's basically that. It is
You
that.
and your
It's probably,
friend's jacket.
It basically is that jacket. And he was out there this weekend, and that's what he was wearing, sticking his hand in the oven.
Super flammable, by the way. Read it on the tag.
Go up in flames with that thing.
Yeah, but the pizza ovens are wicked. I don't know who got it in our family, but just sits on the counter, man, and it just makes, like you said, makes your pizza. It just like, especially these days, everybody wants everything now, right? I find that we're in a more immediate thinking world. Like it's like we want answers now, we want results now, we want this now, we want fast food, nobody wants to cook or take the time. To be quite honest, nobody really has time anymore because you have to work 12 jobs to make anything happen. But they just like it. We're in the era of like instant. Give me a pizza. I need it now. But I just think of parents that are on the fly, man. Like kids love pizza. Name one kid that doesn't like pizza. You probably can't. We don't know many kids either.
Luke.
But well, he can't eat. He likes it. He just can't eat it.
Oh, jeez.
But
Made
yeah,
that
just like on the
mistake a couple
fly, right?
times.
Super quick, in and out. Boom, get your pizza on the way you go. So
we were so in the basement there at the cottage. The pizza oven was right outside that basement door, and as soon as you walk in, the TV's right there on the left. So we had who was Philly playing on Saturday?
Oh God, I don't know. I see so many games in the weekend.
Anyways, they lost, and it almost seemed like each and every time I went through the door to run a pizza up from the oven all the way up to the kitchen inside, Philly got scored on. And I had this theory. I was like, if Philly ever gets scored on, all they do is show John Tortorella's reaction. They don't go to the team who just scored. Like if Nate has a beauty, end to end, boom, scores. They don't show the celebration of the guy who scored. They just go right to Torts. Because Torts' reaction is either stone face,
Oh yeah,
just looks straight ahead, or he's ripping his shirt off and yelling at the ref. It's just it's one or the other. And I noticed I walked in like 3-4 times. Philly got scored on throughout this process of me making pizza, and just randomly every time I walked in they got scored on. And every single time the cameraman right to Torts, just stone face, just looking down the bench,
pissed off at
just
somebody.
pissed off at somebody. And it's actually hilarious. He reminds me of like Gibby back in the Toronto Blue Jays manager. Like
No matter what happens,
no matter what happens, he just.
There's a lot of like I see a lot of clips and stuff like that of like, you know, most of the media availability is Torts, like this whole Matvey Michkov thing and like how he's trying to teach him how to be a pro and how he's being too hard on him and all this stuff. And there's a clip of them going at it on the bench, and it's just like people see this and they think that it's out of the ordinary, that the coach and players are like feuding and stuff. And I will say this, Torts is one of the only coaches left that's kind of got that old school mentality, like, you know, no bullshit. I'm going to tell you how it is, but everyone just gets so up in the air, and like everyone just gets so uptight about this like tough coaching thing. It's like these guys are professional athletes, man. They're making millions and millions of dollars. You're going to coach them how you want to coach them, and there's a reason why he's in the position he's in. But Philadelphia, granted, not the greatest, but at the end of the day, who cares how you're coaching? Like, just people always have to have their opinion on everything. It's like Torts is being an asshole and he needs to be nicer to the guys. It's like, no, dude, he's trying to create professionals here. It's not daycare, you know what I mean? They're not 3 and you're teaching them how to cut their meat. It's a different ball game, but I like Torts a lot. That was where I was heading with this. I'm still a little bit old school mentality, and I get that, and I'll take accountability on that. But, you know, we need a little bit tougher love in the world, I guess is my point.
That was funny. Just
Not to mention, like, most of these guys have been like, they came up playing hockey, being taught like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, even Mishkov, who's we consider like a kid, it's just not on like a national scale, and you don't see it on the cameras every night. But
Yeah.
this isn't this guy's first time being a pro or anything like that. So
from Russia.
for him, it's normal. For Torts, it's normal. It's for everyone else that it's not.
Yeah, the
It's
ones
just
sitting
'cause
at home.
It's in your face now,
Yeah.
and it just never was before. So
Yeah, the old, what are they called? The old armchair coaches. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
armchair
Your buddy's
GM,
sitting there,
yeah.
sitting on his couch all weekend, trying to tell Torts how to coach an NHL team, which is hilarious to me. And that's part of the amusement for me, though, is reading all that stuff. And it takes everything I have into me not to add my 2 cents in, but I just let it go.
my 2 cents of that is that cameramen, camera operators, camera women know the meme world that we live in right now.
True.
And they almost shoot these hockey games looking for memes. They know what their boss or their operator is trying to tell them. Okay, look, try to find someone in the stands that's doing something funny. We're looking for viral here. We're not looking for
Ordinary.
ordinary.
Yeah.
That, you know,
official
they're
word
That's a
is-
great take.
Yeah, the official thing they call that is clip farming.
clip farming.
Yeah, so it's like you're just trying to like create a moment over and over, and you're farming clips, and just hope, you know, if you get 10, you hope one goes viral. Get another 10, hope one goes viral.
That's what they're doing. Like NBC broadcast that game that whoever Philly played, they were clip farming big time, just looking for anything.
I wonder how it works too. Like I obviously we have like cameramen and stuff, but it's not the same scale. But it's like I wonder if they go, okay, listen, you two guys, you guys are on crowd. Like, don't worry about any of the play. We have guys that are covering gameplay. We need you two guys as ISO cams looking for things out of the ordinary, because they do like the lookalikes in the rink and stuff like that. There's always
Definitely.
somebody who looks like Ed Sheeran, something like that. But I just wonder, like at the start of the game, they're going, okay, here's the team. Listen, here's what we're doing. Jeff, Belly, you guys are going ISO cam. You look for idiots. You look for something funny, and the rest of us will cover the game. It's like,
Yes.
I want to know what the GP is on that.
That is
'cause would be-
that is 100%.
How do you apply for that job?
I don't know.
I'm a great
That-
ISO cam guy.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Somehow you fall into it though.
And that means they've definitely like added it, because I do a lot of like YouTube scouring late at night now, and I like to watch old games just to like look, there's no ads on the boards, like little things like that. But for the most part, it's just like the single camera. Back in the day, there was no like crowd surfing. They weren't even like part of it. Do you know what I mean? But now all of a sudden it's a thing. So it's like they definitely had to add people to their teams just to make all this happen. But I do like the term clip farming.
Yeah.
I remember growing up going to the Montreal Expos games. The random things you remember. The Montreal Expos, that was the first professional sporting event I ever went to. And there was no one in the stadium back when I went. So you just like, I don't know, you were able to like see people more, if that makes sense, because you're not looking at a massive crowd. You could actually see like individual groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a big thing back then, almost happened every time I went. These people would have cash in their hands. They'd be hammered, and they'd go up to the camera operators and just hand them $100 worth of 20s and be like, if you put me and my drunk group of friends on camera, I'll give you this $100. And if you're a camera operator, well, $100, 100%, let's do it. So I'd see these camera operators take the cash, put it in their pocket. They'd radio someone, be like, hey, I'll give someone $20 if you go to camera 4, which is me, in 5 seconds. I'm assuming that's what they say.
Yeah.
And then the camera operator would look behind him at the drunk group of people and be like, ready? Okay, 5 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom. And then you'd see these people on the big screen yell, drunk, throw beer, do whatever they have to do to be idiots for 10 seconds. And just like the random things that you remember as a kid growing up. I don't know. It was just funny back in the day seeing that stuff as a kid. You just kind of, you learn about street sense. That's like a street business move, pay a camera operator $100, get my drunk friends on TV. Bob's your
Tax-free
uncle.
money.
It was cool to see how that stuff worked back in the day.
I had a guy pay me one time to announced the referee as an MVP way back in the day for a Sedna tournament, which was hilarious. I was just the timekeeper, and he was upset at the way the game was officiated, which is no surprise. And I was only like 15 or 16 or something like that. And we were doing it as a fundraiser, so it wasn't like a big thing. But he was just like, "I'll give you $50 if you announce the referee as the player of the game." And I'm thinking, at 15 years old, I probably had negative $50, so that would have brought me back to even. But I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't care." At the end of the day, I didn't really care. So, anyways, I did it, and the whole rink went completely silent, and but it was worth every cent, man, to watch like his reaction, because the refs, they stand there with the player of the game awards. You announce it, and then the players come up to them, and when I announce it, you could just like that. But anyways, easiest $50 I ever meant. So that's definitely a thing, man. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, get me and my buddy,
That's so
or it's
good.
like they're an engagement or something like that, right? Like someone proposing. But it's funny the stuff you see, because sports fans are wild, man.
Yeah.
They're wild.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking last night what I was going to do at the Four Nations, if I could do something fun, but I can't really take my hockey gear with me.
Man, those Team Canada jerseys are popping up left, right, and center on my algorithm, like the ads on Instagram and Twitter. It's like, buy Crosby's Canada jersey, $240, and I'm sitting here going, I'm not gonna buy that. No, what I'm not buying. I got another Canada jersey back there, but I know as soon as we're in Boston, and I get 1 or 2 drinks in me, and I see that beautiful Canada jersey with Crosby's name on the back, or Nate, I don't know. I hope I have enough strength not to buy it, because that's the last thing I need
You're
to buy
buying
right
it.
now.
I'm
Man,
I'm thinking
it's
like
so nice.
if Canada's there in the finals,
That's a
'cause
good
we're
point.
gonna know.
Knock on wood. We don't know Canada's
knock
going to be
on
in the
wood.
finals.
If Canada's in the finals, and I see like a McDavid one, and it's the day before, or whatever, and we know they're gonna be there, then I'll be tempted. So I'm kind of just playing it by ear.
I can 100%
If they're
guarantee you
in.
I will not be buying one.
You
can
can't
put that in-
guarantee that. What if you're wearing a red vest and someone goes, "Hey, dudes, I'll give you $700 for that red vest"?
Okay, well, that's somebody else paying for it then. Yeah, like I'm not going to be paying for it myself.
That's free money.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that guy is there, because we are going back to where I did sell the vest. So oddly enough,
We should go back to that bar.
100%.
What was the name of it?
Oh man, I don't remember what it's called, but I know that they're cheap beers.
Oh, no way. They're still $2 in today's economy.
Well, maybe it's America, right?
Yeah.
Trump's already made America great again, so
$2 beer. $2 beers are
I know
back.
where it's at. Like I could see it right now. I can picture it, but I just you just never know.
That's by Fenway, though. We're going towards TD. It's the complete opposite direction of where our rink is.
It's
You know
3
what I mean?
days,
I
man.
don't
We
know.
can venture. We're right down in the core.
We're right in the
anyways.
middle. We're right in the middle between Fenway and TD Garden. That's where our hotel is, right in the middle. So.
Let me tell you what, though. The last time we went, we were way out of town, and it did not stop us one bit from going to all these places.
Yeah,
So
Boston's a very walkable city.
it's a great city, too.
Hopefully it's not freezing, but if it is, whatever.
Well, it's not
Figure
going to
it
be
out.
any different than here, I guess, right? Because it's like the closest thing to Nova Scotia in the States, my opinion. Maybe Maine, but Boston's very Nova Scotia-like.
They're calling Sid, Nate, and Brad the Maritime Mafia. I saw that. It was like a CBC clip. I think that's what he said, Maritime Mafia.
I see a sign coming.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Bristol board, baby. You can get those
Who
in the
needs a
States, right?
jersey when you can have a sign?
The jersey topic's tough for me, but I don't know which one to get.
It's a good life when the biggest issue in your head is what jersey to wear to a hockey game. That's your
Scouring Facebook Marketplace for. I thought about buying a Brad Marchand jersey. I had to get your second opinion on this, Belly, because obviously I love the Nova Scotia boys and I love the way Marchand plays, but I'm a Leafs fan, man, and you just can't buy a Boston jersey. But if I find one in Canada, like maybe I would buy one. But I will say on the jersey note, use my trick, boys. Last day of the tournament, things usually go on sale. Maybe not the NHL, but like when we always did the Mem Cups and stuff, you just wait till Sunday and they're liquidating everything. And that's what my old man taught me that way back in the day. Just wait till the end of the week, man. They'll start firing stuff off. So you're definitely getting a jersey. We called you out on this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
You said you weren't, but you're getting it.
I don't need a jersey. I already have a Canada jersey from the World Juniors in Halifax.
That's not the Four Nations,
You
though.
have a Tatum Celtics jersey. If you're buying that, you're not gonna buy.
Yeah, that was only because we were sticking out like sore thumbs in the bar. So Jeff and I are getting ready to go to the game. There's a bar connected to the rink. And I'm not joking, dudes. I am not joking. Jeff, you could attest to this because you were in there with me. There was not one person in that bar that didn't have a piece of green clothing on. Whether a jersey, whether it was a T-shirt, whether it was like a hoodie, a Celtics. I've never walked into a facility before a game, and each and every, even the bartenders. And Jeff and I are sitting in there. I don't know what we were wearing, but we literally just, I couldn't believe it. We were the only ones not wearing something green. It was Game 6 of the NBA
Eastern
Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And you walk in there, dude. You just, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
Turn around,
It's
walk
just,
out.
you're in a sea of green.
Dude, he left the dinner in the middle of it. It was like a long dinner, but we were there for like a half hour. You're like, all right, man, like I'll be right back. And
Yeah, I
you
was
just
like,
dipped
yeah, I'm
out,
just gonna use the washroom right quick. I'll be right back.
and he comes back
like-
with a New Jersey.
Have you worn
And
it since?
No,
Do you even know the guy's first name?
Jason. I remember I was down.
Channing.
I was down. Jason Tate. I was down in the what do you call it? The store. Jesus. And I was my only buddy that really knows basketball, Kevin. And I was like, Kev, who's the best player on the Celtics right now? And he goes, Tatum. He goes, Tatum, no doubt. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Talk to you later. And so I hung it up.
The guy at the cash is probably like,
Dude.
Jesus Christ.
So we spent like an hour and a half earlier that day trying to find you something, remember? And
Yeah.
we couldn't like come to a conclusion.
That's why you got to go to Winners, boys.
And then it was just back against the wall in the restaurant. You said, all right.
What did you get?
I just had a green shirt on.
Was it like Celtics or just happened
Just
to
a
be green?
green. No, like I brought it to wear it, but no,
Okay.
it wasn't Celtics. It was a bit of
Smart.
half send there.
I can pretty much guarantee you guys were in Patagonia before you switched to green.
Big
That's what I
time.
was going to say. You guys, I don't know what I was wearing, but I know what you were wearing.
I wasn't. Yeah. I was
How long ago was that?
2 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That quick, eh?
It was a long time ago.
It's been that long since I've had my actual passport. So
I
there you
remember we
go.
were coming back. Speaking of passport, we were coming back through the border, and we were showing our passports. And the guys were like, "What are you guys doing in the States?" And we're like, "Oh, we were at the Celtics game the other night." And the what do you call them? Border security was like, "What? No way! That was a great game. They won because they were gonna get swept. They were down 3-0, and that was the first game they actually ended up winning. I don't think they won the series, but they won that game. And the border patrol people were in awe that we went to the game.
They're usually pretty good when it comes to sports. Like when you and I and Billy went down that first year for Red Bull, remember, like, I gutted my car. Just like every speck of sand, anything that in that car, you clean it, and then you get to the border, and the guy's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're going to Red Bull Crashed Ice," and he's like, "Cool, have fun, boys." And you're like, "Oh,
Yeah, he's
man.
like, "I love Red Bull.
Yeah.
Awesome. See you later."
But even coming back in, right? It's like, what were you doing? It's like, oh, we went to the Bruins game or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, Marchand had 2 goals or whatever, and then it's like, have a good day, boys. It's like they, for some reason, love sports, right?
Oh, that's all. That's it. That's it.
Especially
Like,
coming back in.
remember the guy that we were sitting with at the restaurant
Yeah.
before the game? He had season tickets to the Pats, to the Bruins, to the Celtics,
Yeah.
and maybe to one other team. And just him and his son were sitting at the bar, and that's all they did. They just sports.
They were nice guys, actually.
I want to know what they do for a living.
They
Make
just had,
money.
They just had money, man.
Yeah, they make money. No shit, they got 12 season tickets for every sports team.
It was crazy.
I
It's
wish.
just insane money down there.
Season tickets is a commitment. Like it is. We got season tickets for the Moose that year for World Junior purposes, but like you have the tickets and it's still tough to go, you know, unless you're like a diehard. Now, granted, if I was a Leafs season ticket holder, I'd probably be doing whatever I could to make the games, but it's a commitment, man, and especially when you pay up front for it, you're on the hook for that no matter what, so you almost feel obligated to go all the time. So shout out to all those fans with season tickets. I'd like to get less of them in Toronto, but we won't go there.
Me and Tommy got them for the Mooseheads that year. They won the Memorial Cup. and like I was single, I was living downtown, and that was the best time I think to get season tickets because you have no commitments. You can go to a game on Sunday at 2:00
and get tanked.
and exactly that. It was that was arguably one of the best years of my life due to the fact that the Mooseheads were unstoppable. Season tickets with Tommy. We both worked downtown and lived downtown, so we could just go to the game whenever. It was just a unbelievable impulse buy, and they weren't even that bad. They were like $600 for the year.
It's pretty affordable. Like,
And like we got the student discount too.
Were you guys actually students or
I might have been a year out, like, but the ID still worked at the counter or something. Like,
use it for discounts and using it for the bus?
yeah. Well, we were working at the bank, and there was people that were like full blown adults, like no students at all, and they would go to the young guys that were students and find out who had an ID and be like, hey, here's $600. Go down to the Mooseheads, get the student rate season ticket holders, and use your ID so I don't have to pay full price. Like, they would just like harass us and be like, hey, who's a student here? You got your ID? Okay, here's the money. Go down. I'll meet you.
It's probably not
they
even
would
that
just
crazy of
hustle
a
it.
discount.
It's not, but
It's a discount.
people love a discount.
Yeah.
Especially at the bank. They just knew how to. I don't know. They just knew how to do it.
You just throw a yellow tag on it, and everyone's like, "Wow, what a deal!"
Yeah, and then you got the tickets again, like the year he was talking about, right? With the when you were trying to get the World Junior tickets,
yeah.
and you said like you like had less interest in going, right? Like so, it's just about like where you're at in your life.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
I was only less interested due to the fact that I was busy, like
Yeah.
the company. Like I don't have time to go to a movie. Even now, you just don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like a
to be-
snapshot into
to be
a year.
sports fan, you gotta have time.
It's hard to be a sports fan and work in the sports industry, like it is. You know, I'm not saying like it's a pain, but it's just like tough, right? Like, for example, Saturday night, you and I are both doing games. What do I usually do on a Saturday night? Well, I guess this is 5-6 years ago now, but you watch the Leafs, right? That's what I've been doing since I was a kid. But it's tough to be like fully in the fandom world and still maintain your fandom while doing the rest of your life, right? Like you said, you and Tommy were living downtown, you were working downtown, they played downtown. What else? Like, you're there already.
We got off work every day at like 1. It's just like
tough
Games not till 7.
oh, dude, it was. That's the thing. I'm happy I did it because I got that out of my system. Like I was a full on sports fan.
You were
for
a Moose
year.
maniac.
I was a Moose maniac.
That's one way to put it.
And like
sports fan.
we made friends with like the other season ticket holders that sat
That's the
around
best,
us. So
yeah.
it's like, hey, what's going on, Dean? How are you, Shelly? How's the kids? You know, like, you know, and you debate things. It's like, oh, that wasn't offside last week. That was offside this week, though. Like, I don't know. You just get to know these people, and they become your family all around you. And who knows? These people still could have season tickets, and they're still sitting there. I
More
have
than
no
likely.
idea, but I don't know. It was one of the more fun years of my life. It was a distraction from what was really happening in the real world, which was nothing, just working at the bank and going to the library, hanging out. Like, it was-
Library. That's a lie.
yeah.
yeah, I'd watch movies at the library.
Free Wi-Fi. That's why. Yeah, that's it. The
Yeah.
Mooseheads were good that year, though, weren't they?
They won the Memorial Cup.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a whole different ball game, right? Like, but yeah, even when we had season tickets belly, like, it was tough, especially where I live out of the city. Like, it's a full commitment,
yeah.
right? Like, you almost have to get a hotel every night, or you just go in and eat popcorn, and it's just like sick, you know.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't care so much about having a beer, but back then I definitely would have.
How much time are you at right now?
28.
No. You got a timer going.
No, I don't. I'm just always bang on. If you go back and listen to all the podcasts, every time you ask, I'm within 5 minutes. That's a fact.
It's pretty good. Okay, I'll give it to you. You're on fire today. You got the passport and
The same jacket as the lady.
Same jacket as the lady. He's guessing times. Do we want to hypothetically go over potential lineups for Team Canada and who we think will mesh well with who and who wouldn't mesh well with who?
Wow.
Is that a thing we want to get down, or is that something that we want to avoid because we could end up duking it out here over the table?
No, I think there's one thing that we can all be on the common ground of, and that's we want to see the newly termed Maritime Mafia play as a line, at least for some power play. I understand that that's 3 of your big dogs on one line, but at the end of the day, it's Team Canada roster, and they should be doing pretty good if those 3 are on a line. But I'm down to do this. I'll have to look at the roster, to be honest with you, but our inner coaches are going to come out here.
Here's the thing. Game 1, just do it to give the fans a sense of relief of whether or not it's going to work or not, meaning put Sid, Nate, and Brad together. Okay, guys, here you go. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, let's figure something else out. So I'd say you do that for the first game, just to give the fans at home a let's do it. That's awesome. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We already know Sid plays well with Brad over in Toronto. That was like 5 years ago at the, what did they call that thing?
The Four Nations?
No,
the
it
World
was like the World Cup,
World
like
Cup.
World Cup of hockey, like with the Young Guns. Remember, like there was a Young Guns
they won
team.
it.
Yeah. That was
like
2016. That was almost 10 years ago.
Holy shit.
No, that's crazy. But yeah, it was Sid, Brad, I think Bergeron. They were on the line. They played so well together. Sid actually had a great mic'd up video for that tournament. But to chuck Nate in there with Sid and Brad, it could easily work, but it also couldn't.
So here's my question: if that happens, who do you put with McDavid? I mean, we could play with McDavid and probably be half decent, but like, you know, you have if you put Sid, Marshy, and Nate all on one line, who do you have with McDavid? Marner?
Definitely Marner.
Maybe like a Brandon Hagel type player?
My thought on that was Sam Bennett. I like Sam Bennett due to the fact that he kind of reminds me a little bit of Hyman. Not totally, but just a touch of Hyman in there in terms of his grittiness, and always knows where to be on the ice to put a puck in the net. That's just me thinking. Could be wrong, could be right, but I just like Sam Bennett. And they played against a lot, last year in the finals. Maybe they know a little bit about each other's game. That's just where I'm at. Sam Bennett. I do like Marner with McDavid. That would be my line.
Imagine having like I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Draisaitl with the guy across the table from me here, but like he's a very similar puck disher, Marner. He can't score as well as Draisaitl, but I feel like Marner getting the puck to McDavid is a match made in heaven. But you just need that other guy that's going to get in there, the sandpaper guy, like you said, Sam Bennett, that's going to get in there and muck the corners or be F1 all the time. That's going to allow this space for these guys to happen. But I'm picturing Marner just like feeding McDavid right now.
But McDavid is a passer himself too, so like that's why.
True.
So him and Marner kind of do that same thing. That's why you like Sam Reinhart.
Yes,
he's a pure goal scorer, really.
Very good take.
So he might, because if it was, if it's me, you have Hyman there, but he's not on the team, so you need goal scorers. Jarvis, he's the extra man.
Konechny shoots the puck.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
So
he's got a little sandpaper to him too.
So I could see McDavid, Marner, and then that third spot, like you said, if you're going for grit, Bennett. And Bennett knows how to score too, but Reinhardt's like a pure goal scorer. Jarvis is a pretty good goal scorer, and like
this
you
year,
said,
anyway.
Konechny. So
then it leaves like Hagel, Stone, Cirelli. I think that right there would be a great third line. Those three.
Point? Where do you put Point? You put Point on the fourth line?
No, Point.
I like Tampa just as a third line. Those three guys there.
What, Hagel,
Point.
Cirelli, and Point?
I kind of like that as a third line.
I agree with that.
and they've got John Cooper, the Tampa coach.
Cooper knows how to operate a third line, especially if all three of his guys are his.
I just like that's a tough job. Like maybe something that no one's talking about enough is obviously why they're coaching the NHL, but like how do you mix and match this? It's a win-win-win-win-win. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you put McDavid with Crosby and Cirelli, or it's just like you win no matter what. You just got to hope that the guys gel together, right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking here now, and with no Pietrangelo, it looks like they have their sixth D man appointed here.
Oh, did they pick
seventh?
Weir?
No. Right now, the defense are Devon Taves, Travis Sanheim, which is a new one, I'm pretty sure.
No, he was on the original.
Oh,
as
he
the
was?
seventh D, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think they've
Makar,
named it.
Theodore Morrissey, and Pareko.
So they haven't filled in that Pietrangelo spot.
No, but he got drilled last night too.
Who, Uyghur?
Pietrangelo. Uyghur's ready to go, boys. Like he already said, he's got a vacation that he's ready to cancel at any moment, right? Let's get it going.
Yeah, I messaged him on the video that we posted of him, and I tagged him in it, and he liked it. So we saw it. He knows we're in his corner.
Yeah.
Uyghur knows we're getting ready to go for
We're gonna
him.
be there, man.
If he goes, I'll get a Moosehead jersey and I'll wear it. That's what I'll do. I'll wear my Pee Wee one. Whatever. Who cares?
That'd be unreal.
Tape name bar over it. Weeks.
Oh, that'd be sick. Him and Nate, the old Moosehead connection.
I think the biggest question for Team Canada, and it always has been, is their goaltending.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Well,
I
because
was having so much fun with the lineup.
you have to. We got the lineup. The defense are easy. That's Makar's going to be on the first line. He's the assistant captain too, which there was some. I'm not going to call it turmoil, but there was some chatter about who should have been the captain. It's like pretty tough to choose
Yeah,
captains when
Nate
your
didn't
whole
get
team.
the A.
Or did
over
McDavid?
McDavid got one, yeah.
Okay.
So it's Crosby, McDavid, and McCarr.
They could have afforded one more A though, no?
Yeah.
Or maybe every team only gets 2 A's and a C. I don't
Or
know.
they could just do it like the Pee Wee AA teams do it around here, and they give a home captain and an away captain, and they have 3 A's on the away
So
team. And
That's
4.
not Canada's way. Canada's way.
So Canada, U.S. both did captain with 2 assistants, but Sweden and Finland both did 3 assistants.
Okay.
Or alternates.
Is
or
that in the
whatever we
notes?
go with.
That's in the-
Yeah.
That's in the notes.
Attaboy Cohen.
Game notes. I mean, I think the Crosby one was unanimous.
Of course.
I think we can all agree that that was going to be the case, and that coming out as a report was not a surprise, right? At the end of the day, someone shared this wild stat about Sid too. He's like 24-0 in international play or something like that. So I don't know what the actual stat is, and I'll probably get flack for it, but it's something ridiculous. Like when he's the captain of a team or he's on Team Canada, they're like basically unstoppable. So knock on wood.
Yeah, he's one of the best leaders in professional sports, and that's what you need in international tournaments. You don't need an individual. You
No.
need a leader.
Yep.
You need a guy who's willing to like not be the glory guy, even though he got the. Well, actually, even in that Vancouver Olympics, he didn't play that well. He's admitted that, but maybe he just played a role that allowed them to win, and then he got that big, the golden goal. But Sid, I think, has always been that guy who's been the most selfless leader in terms of international play. Because, dude, look at this lineup.
I know.
How many personalities, how many egos, how many dollars are in that dressing room. And
crazy.
you have a guy like Sid in there who just really cares about the W word, and all he wants to do is win. He's going to be in there wearing the C, and he's going to be leading some guys who haven't really won before. No offense to McDavid. There's guys in there that just – there's not just McDavid. There's a lot of guys in there who haven't won.
He won a
And-
World Juniors, didn't he?
Did he?
I don't know. I'd have to go back. I think so, though.
Yeah, that's his defense here.
Going.
But you know, there's gonna be there's gonna be some leadership ability in that room from a lot of guys, and I think Sid's the guy to bring it home. A little bit of a homer, see his house from right there, Cole Harbour, but it's Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, that's unanimous. It was. Imagine if he didn't get the captain. I think that was where you'd
Yeah,
see the
ratings
uproar.
would go down. No one, I wouldn't. I'd cancel the flights.
To dig a little deeper into the Canada roster, and this is going to be some like maritime flair here. Obviously, we have Sid and Nate from Cole Harbour. Okay, Marshy's from Hammonds Plains. But if you actually go down the list here, when you get into the staff, we actually have some more like maritime flavor in there that people probably don't realize, and I think they should get some recognition. So first of all, Don Sweeney is the general manager, and I will give you guys the last $14 in my account if you can guess where he's from. It's not Nova Scotia. I'll say that, but he is from one of the Atlantic provinces.
Don Sweeney. Where is he?
Campbellton, New Brunswick.
That is a fantastic guess. It's St. Stephen, New Brunswick.
Is that close to Campbellton?
Yeah, as far as my map knowledge goes, it's
Yeah, it's New Brunswick.
yeah, exactly. So Don Sweeney's from St. Stephen, New Brunswick. Okay,
Okay.
We'll move on down the list. We have the goaltending consultant. This is a crazy staff. Goaltending consultant, Moncton, New Brunswick, David Alexander. Shout out to him. Move on down the list here. We also have Mitchell Furlot, who's the manager of hockey operations. He's from Bathurst, New Brunswick. And that concludes my Atlantic shout-outs here. But still pretty cool to see. Like, you wouldn't expect, and it's one thing you don't really look at. You look at the roster, the players, where they're from. But when you look at the staff that makes all of this run, it's nice to see some Atlantic flair in there for sure.
100%. And these are just the guys that we know of. I'm sure there's plenty of more people behind the scenes that we don't know of. Maybe there's someone on the training staff. Is there anything like that listed?
Yeah, they have everything here, man.
Oh, yeah?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ryan Getzlaff, player relations advisor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty star-studded list here. But Spencer Sharkey, we know that
Oh, yeah,
name.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
from
yeah.
Hamilton, but he's their media relations guy, so that's cool.
Oh, sick.
We've dealt with him a few times, and yeah, man, it's there's some names here obviously I don't recognize, but like Rick Tockett, Peter DeBoer, Bruce Cassidy, John Cooper, Kyle Dubas, Ryan Getzlaff, Don Sweeney. I had no idea he was from New Brunswick,
Yeah, me neither.
which is really cool. But yeah, there's some Atlantic flair for you there on the Four Nations. So if you're not cheering for the players, cheer for the staff.
And it's countdown time, too. Like, that's starting in, 2 weeks, this Four Nations thing? I think
Yeah.
it starts on the 12th.
Next Wednesday we go, so it'll be a couple days before that.
It starts on the 12th, yeah.
What day do we leave?
Wednesday.
Next
we leave on
Wednesday.
the we
Yeah.
leave on the
Oh.
19th.
Mm-hmm. Pretty crazy.
That's next Wednesday, the 19th?
No, next
No.
Wednesday is the 12th.
Right, that's when
That's when the tournament starts, and then
we leave.
we
next
leave on the
Wednesday.
19th, but the
Okay.
finals is on the 20th, on that Thursday. All hands on deck there.
That's such a random day for the finals on a Thursday.
Yeah, maybe Friday's a holiday. Or no, it says something here. Yukon Heritage Day. I don't think that's.
that's
Oh
why
no,
they
it
did
says Canadian holiday.
Yeah.
But maybe only in the Yukon.
Yeah, we're not sure on that one. If anyone knows, hit us up in the comments.
like, subscribe, comment. Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Ring the bell.
for the most part, I think the captains and stuff for the Four Nations was pretty self-explanatory for all teams. I'll say that. So that's pretty much it. Now, do we want to move on and continue on the Atlantic Flair and give a shout out to the three fellas?
Yeah. Do you want to do that? Take the lead.
Yeah, sure.
I can do it if you want.
No,
Unless you
not,
want to.
I got it up here now.
give it.
So in the High Button Sports Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League, that's a mouthful. 3 stars of January are, Jeff, do you know? Yes, you do. They are first star Connor McPhee from the March and Milco Hunters Hockey Club. 4 games played, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points in 4 games. And on top of that, this weekend had a 4 or 5 point night or afternoon on Sunday to add to that total. Now, second star Elliot Mullen, for those of you who aren't aware, just kind of re-entered him back into the U18. He played some games with the Truro Bearcats this year and has been in 6 games so far with the Weeks Majors, and he has 14 points, so 4 goals, 10 assists. Pretty good numbers. And a guy that we're pretty familiar with here, Jeff, especially you and I, Fenwick McLean, son of former NHLer Donald McLean. A little bit of a slower start to the season. I think we can agree on that. Certainly has found his game in the last little bit. So in 7 games, he had 14 points, which is very commendable. 2 points a game at the U18 league, especially as a highly touted forward. You got a little more pressure on you. You're a little bit more covered on the ice, I guess, is a term for it. So for a first-year guy to put up those kind of numbers here and kind of get into his groove, that's really nice. So congratulations to those 3 guys. This is a really fun thing that we get to do, man. I know we're not in on the decision, but for when they pick those stars, it's really cool to see the players getting the recognition, and the people that choose it do a great job too. So shout out to McPhee, Elliot Mullen, and Fenwick McLean, and I'm pretty sure Mullen's a really good golfer as well. I'm pretty sure their whole family is. So,
I've heard of this. Yes, Mullen is a good golfer.
So maybe we can, with our shout out here, maybe he'll give us some free lessons. But no, shout out to those guys. The U18 league is crazy once again this year, and looking forward to the finish of the season. So congrats, fellas.
It's wicked getting to see the progress from 3-4 years ago to now. That's one of the cooler parts about the job.
I would have to say that is the coolest part is watching the progression of these players, right? Like obviously, Fenwick had 79,000 goals last year in Major Bantam or U15, but how does that translate to the next level? That's one thing that, scouts have to deal with, projections. I like to talk to scouts sometimes when I'm at the rink just to kind of get a feel. I don't ask about specific players, but I'll mention something like, hey, do you guys notice this? What is your thoughts on body language when they get taken off too early? Like, is that something you look for? And a lot of it is based on not right now. It's what they project these players to be like. What's their trajectory? How have they progressed or degressed? Is that a term? So it's just interesting to see. Like some people are highly touted and may only have 4 points, right? Like it's just what they're based on projections, and what a tough job that would be. I would hate to be a scout. It'd be a sick job, but to have this is the guy that I believe in, and then all of a sudden he's a flop, right? I know that happens more often than not, but the progression of these players, man, especially from we get to see them right from the ground level, basically right to now. And no surprise, I guess, for what I'm saying here for these 3 guys especially.
Got to do a first star of the week video is what I'm thinking. When's Coal Harbor practice next?
Yeah, there you go.
We don't know those, but we can figure it out pretty quick.
When the few Moosehead games that I did get to go to this year, I get to sit up, humble brag, with the scouts up in the press box, and the conversations you have with those NHL scouts up there and what they're looking for, and it's pretty impressive. The scouts up there, I might have touched on this earlier. Like they're watching a different game than the fans. Mm-hmm. The scouts couldn't care less who wins. They're not fans. They're individual fans. They look at body language. They look at the guy that just had a terrible shift, how he goes to the bench, and when he sits on the bench, is he talking to his teammates? Is his head down? Is his head up? It's crazy the things that they look for when you're a scout. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. And actually getting to talk to them, and you get to see some of the reports that they write down in their iPad from these guys from 2 years ago to now in his draft year. They have notes on him when he was 16 from a guy now when he's 18, and the things that have changed. It's remarkable, some of the things that they get to know about these players in a 24-month span. It's remarkable. On that note, the individual stuff, right? They don't care who wins, like you said. I agree with that. And it's just little things. Like I asked one of the scouts this weekend. I was up in Pictou, and I just asked, what's one thing that you really look for? And he said that it's to play away from the puck.
where does this player situate themselves when the play isn't around them. It's all fine and dandy. Like when I have the puck, whoever has the puck, that you can make something happen with it, right? It's easy to see the results when you have the biscuit, but it's where do you go? And this guy actually mentioned, he's like, you wouldn't believe how many people have a hard time finding open ice, like being the guy that gets open. Getting open is a vague term, but to get yourself into a position where you can make a high scoring chance is tough to do. And he's like, just watch. Like he gave me a couple examples. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, but he was just like, watch. He's like, watch that person creep down to the net. Now you're taking yourself out of position. But it's just these small little intricate things in the game that, especially even as commentators, right? It's tough if you have a guy with you that's breaking down the game, but when you're calling the game, you don't really have time to touch on these things. But just to see like the small things, where are they away from the puck? How are they supporting? Do they leave the zone too early? If they get taken off early in a shift, what's their body language like? It's like all these things, and that's what they're trying to make into a package to try and project what this player is going to be like. It's a prediction, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows the top players as far as stats. That's easy. It's written in paper. The numbers don't lie. But what are the other guys? That's who you're scouting. You're not scouting the top prospects. Those are easy, right? You're like, boom, this guy's a lock. Who's going to fill in all those other spots? It's a tough job.
I was watching a game Kyle Connor played the other day in Winnipeg, and I think he had like 2 goals maybe. And each goal, he was just late entering the offensive zone. And it was a beautiful thing to watch because it's all timing. And everyone's energy is in the bottom right-hand corner. And Kyle Connor's just literally like Ovechkin coasting over the blue line. But he looks so out of position, but all of a sudden, Scheifele gets the puck in the corner and just feeds Connor as no defenseman's around him. No one's around him. He has maybe a 10-foot circumference around him where he just has time to one-timer at top corner. But when you have that wide view that the NHL shows after the replay and you just see him not even moving his feet, just coasting as his teammates are battling in the corner, you're thinking as an average fan, like, oh, get in the play, Connor, get in the play. But you're like, no. That's why this guy has 30 tucks this year already. It's because he's just timing. And he knows when that puck comes to him, that no one would be around him. I don't know. And both of his goals on the weekend were like that. It was just so beautiful to watch a professional hockey player like play the game within the game. It's just
make yourself forgotten, right?
Exactly.
They're not going to go force you. Like it's the same with that power play setup, man, where they go up top, they move it over to the right side. That guy kind of exits the zone a little bit, and then he comes in with some speed, enters the zone a little bit, and he gets the puck back. Now he's attacking with speed, right? And you're not going to, as a defenseman, go follow him out into the neutral zone, right? So you just forget about him, and now all of a sudden he's there. But these goal scorers, man, they know.
You could even see like the angle that Connor was coming in on. Yeah, they played against Washington. Like he almost made sure that the defenseman who was kind of in the slot, he made sure that his body position was so awkward and out of the way that even when the defenseman turned his neck, he wouldn't be able to see him. So like you said, he was forgotten. No, there's no one there. I'm going to focus all my energy on the corner because there's no one behind me in the slot. So then all of a sudden you see this defenseman creep in. All of a sudden Connor sees that, and it's just like, oh, that's what I'm about.
I love that stuff.
Just the best feeling. You're just like, man, that's hockey. That is hockey. It's and that's what video is good for because Connor goes back in the room. He goes, all right, who's cheating right now on D in Washington?
Yes.
Oh, okay, he's creeping down. Okay, he didn't turn his head right there. Okay, hey Scheifele, come here, come sit next to me. See this right here? See the defenseman how he's creeping down, and see how he's not looking behind right here. This period, if you're in the corner, I'm gonna be really late. Find me. Okay, sounds good. And then boom.
That's one of my favorite things about the NHL is seeing the guys communicate on the bench because they'll show you, oh, look at these guys looking at the iPad on the bench, and then you watch them go do it, and it's like their ability to make adjustments on the fly is unbelievable. Like it's insane. Speaking of Scheifele, though, that's one guy I would have liked to see on Team Canada.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's when you have 1,000 quality players, how do you choose, right? So you could sit here and bash it all day, but he's just having a great year, and he's helping Connor put up the numbers he's put up. And who saw Winnipeg being this good? Not us.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, anyways, it's a beautiful game, and I say this on the broadcast all the time. I'm like, hockey is so beautiful, and it's so gutless at the same time.
It's a great game, shitty business.
Yeah, true. It's tough. But yeah,
that was a great game the other day. The Washington and
we're getting down the stretch.
Washington and Winnipeg.
Yeah, because Washington's creeping up too.
Yeah,
how many of these Ovechkins out?
The Habs are actually like, I know you said getting down the stretch.
Yeah.
Like they have a shot here, boys.
They are on a 5-game
could be at a playoff
skid.
game this year.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
they have a
hate
chance.
that.
How many games left in the season?
Why
20,
not?
29?
We're gonna be there at the very start of the playoffs.
Yeah,
like
if anything,
for
that's
the
when they'll be
first
in.
round.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
it's just I just got back from the cottage, and whenever I see my dad at the cottage, it's there's no chance. He's so negative towards it. He just goes, there's.
It's a reverse jinx.
I know, maybe
Yeah.
he'll go. What does he say? He goes. He'll always go, hey, did you see the Habs game the other day? I go, yeah. And before I even have anything to say, he goes, they're not going to make the playoffs. And then just he'll walk into like another room. I'm like, all right, man.
What was his prediction for the Stanley Cup final, though?
Oh, yeah. His prediction for the Stanley Cup final was Toronto, Edmonton.
Sounds like a sleepover night, Jeff. Hey, couple bags of popcorn, maybe some
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
It's gonna be a crazy month if the Leafs can somehow make the finals.
Yeah.
But that'd be quite something.
Be quite the household in
Just-
Montreal.
yeah.
Won't it?
Yeah.
But you can just picture it, you can taste it, that's how you want it. For as far as like our team goes, we have a lot of Leafs fans.
Yeah.
Edmonton fan, I think nobody knows what fan you are. You're just a fan of the game.
I'm like the
NHL hat.
NHL hat.
Yeah, Belly just like wants all the teams to have fun, but
I just want content. I'm the camera operator looking for memes.
like a lot of Leafs fans in the group, and I just think like as far as like team wise, to have those two teams go on a run while we're in Montreal would be sick.
That would be horrible for me, but I could.
He wouldn't be able to
all those
focus on
Leafs
work.
fans, man.
You only have to worry about Big Logie.
Big Logie, you'd be okay to deal with because
Yeah.
you're cynical, so you won't get like annoying about it. Logan is
appreciate
just like head in the clouds when it comes to the Leafs, and most of them are. I don't blame them.
Yeah, well, we're a little bit tarnished, right?
But even the Sens, Luke's a big Sens guy. They have a shot.
Batherson, yeah.
Hockey Canada's in a
obviously
good
the
place.
Habs.
Like
Yes.
Canadian hockey teams, NHL wise,
Mm-hmm.
good place.
Even Calgary's doing
Is
half
Sean a
decent.
Leafs fan?
I think so.
Yeah, Sean's
he
a
is.
Leafs fan, so
Yeah.
he's going the whole time this year too. So he'll be there with you. He'll be in your corner. You'll be in my corner, Belly.
I'll be cooking dinner for the fellas. I won't be doing much.
Just waiting to see. He'll be just camera.
Yeah,
on.
I'll be the camera
Hey, the ISO
operator.
cam.
Yeah. Me and Cohen will
clip
be in the
farm.
corner,
You'll be-
just
yeah.
like getting reactions.
We'll be clip farming at the house.
Yeah, clip farming. We're gonna be clip farming.
It all depends what fan Jan is a team or a fan of what team, right?
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
dominant denominator.
Do we want to talk about how much time are we at? Sorry. Do we want to talk about the Super Bowl or?
Well, it's
Sure.
this
Do it.
weekend, so I guess this will be our time to do it.
Yeah. I got a bunch of
Kinda did last
random
year.
I don't have anything to say about it. though.
trivia for the boys, right? Some fun facts that'll make your what's it say here?
You got your BuzzFeed article up.
25 Super Bowl facts and trivia to impress your friends this
Okay,
year.
I don't need 25. Give me like 3
Okay. All
to
right.
impress your friends. That's an actual.
This is one of the questions is how much are the Super Bowl referees paid? Just stupid. I already answered that one for you guys.
How much?
Oh, the refs, they make it says reportedly between 30 and 50,000 for the game. And then it says we'll spare you a joke about the Chiefs and their favorable calls right after. So a little shot there. This is a question that I think maybe the average football fan wouldn't know, but the hardcore ones probably would. And the question is, has a rookie quarterback ever started in the Super Bowl? And the answer is no. Jaden Daniels had the opportunity this year, but fell short in the divisional championship game. So that's something I didn't really expect. Like, obviously, you have your savvy vets, but
Brady for his first year. I thought Brady his first year, like the guy went down.
I guess it depends on what the definition
yeah,
of a rookie would
yeah,
be, right?
definition of rookie, I suppose. Rookie starter.
Yeah, and like maybe he wasn't a starter to start. I don't know the situation. But anyways, here's a question. How many times has the Super Bowl featured a rematch?
What? A rematch?
So this year's a prime example of 2 years ago.
A rematch. I thought you meant like
The same
someone,
two teams.
I thought you meant like someone won and they like brought the game to court. Like, no, a rematch. And they accepted the challenge.
This
or
game's
something.
under protest.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
game's under
for a full
protest.
year.
Yeah. I demand a rematch.
I don't know.
10 times it's
10?
happened. Yeah, it
Wow.
says, including this year. We've seen more than one game between the Cowboys and Steelers, 49ers and Bengals, Eagles, Patriots, Cowboys, Bills, Rams, Pats, Giants, Pats, Bills, Cowboys, Dolphins, and Washington, and the Chiefs and Eagles. So that would have been something that I would have never known the answer to, but at the same time, I barely knew that this year was going to be a rematch of a couple years ago, so I'm not the biggest football fan. Who has won the most Super Bowls? We all know that. This is a dumb question. The longest national anthem. Like, here's the thing about football, too, when it comes to, like, betting and stuff, too. Like, there's so many random bets, like the coin toss and what they're going to choose and who's going to get first possession. But you might know this one. Which team has the most Super Bowl wins in NFL history? It's a tie between two teams.
The San Francisco
Patriots.
49ers.
Wrong.
Patriots and Steelers?
Patriots and Steelers.
Yeah.
They have 6 each. The 49ers have 5. So you were right on the doorstep there, but you're not getting in the house quite yet.
Sorry.
And then
Great job. That's unreal.
And then Brady has 7 alone because he has the one more with the Tampa Bay.
That was
so
the
he's
question up
technically
there.
So how
the
many Super
leader.
Bowls does Mahomes have right now?
3.
3?
He has 3.
And he's trying to go the first one to go back to back to back.
Yeah, so he won one and then lost, I think, the Brady year in 2020
Mhm.
or something like that. He won one and then lost, and then he won the last 2.
So if he wins on Sunday, that's 4.
That's 4. And the
Wow.
first
and he's
person
still
to do 3
young,
in a row.
isn't he?
Yeah, he's in his prime right now.
Oh,
Wow.
100%.
Yeah. So
Here's
it
a
won't be his
weird one,
last.
too, that goes on the note of the most wins, but who has the most losses in Super Bowl history?
Dallas Cowboys.
The Bills. They went 0-4 4 years in a row.
So it's okay.
Well, maybe
so
not
it says
the-
the Denver Broncos,
okay, there you
the
go.
Denver Broncos and Patriots are tied with 5 losses each. So what that tells me, obviously, is the Pats is an incredible organization, right? If you have the most Super Bowl wins, but also are tied for the most losses,
Yeah.
that just means you're in the big show all the time, the big dance, right? You're always getting a kick at the can. But the Broncos didn't make the playoffs this year, so they don't have a chance to redo that, which is probably a good thing. Which team has never played in a Super Bowl? Which teams?
There's probably a couple, the new ones.
The Lions.
Titans? No, they might have played in one.
Titans have played,
Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Nailed it.
The Jaguars, the Houston Texans,
Oh,
they've
yeah.
never played, and the Cleveland Browns, which is by far the best name in the NFL. It's just nothing, right? It's just like they have like an orange helmet.
They picked the color.
Yeah, that's it. Let's see if we can get to any more fun ones here that you guys might be able to answer. Actually, this one: who has thrown for the most yards in a Super Bowl?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is
Against
the correct
Atlanta?
answer.
Does it say the game where they came back?
No, it was against the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
2018. This is a ridiculous number for passing yards. 505 yards in the 2018 Super Bowl to defeat the Eagles.
That game was emotional. I remember exactly where I was for that one.
Where were you?
I was in Toronto
In his crib.
at my buddy's. I was in first year university. And I was at my buddy's apartment, and only Patriots fan, and just had to sit there with all of them stacked around me, rooting against the Pats. And it was like a crazy game because I don't think the Patriots made one stop on D. Like they scored on every play. The Eagles did, and Brady played amazing. It was like people say it was his best Super Bowl game ever, and he didn't win.
Huh.
It was and then the next year they came back and won in like a boring game against the Rams, but I didn't care. I was able to celebrate just the same.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's an easy team to hate, though, right? Like the Pats. It's
Definitely.
just like
What's the
it's-
Chiefs now? Like I despise the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they win. That's the thing about sports is no matter you could have the 20, 40, 50 nicest guys on earth that do the best things in the community, but if they win, they're hated.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other thing is the fans that are fans of them are in your face about it, especially where the Chiefs have just started to come alive within the last decade, right? Like they were almost irrelevant back in the day. So now all of a sudden the hate's on them, but it's kind of pushed off the Pats, right? Because do the math. They're not winning as much anymore, right? That's not a dig at you, but I'm just saying the teams that win are the teams that are hated, and that's never not going to be the case. And which is a beautiful part of sports, right? How you can have these like full-fledged grown men or grown women, whatever, hating a fan base. And then you go hang out with them and you probably like the fans, right? Like it's just like, but it's just like in your head, you're like, "Ugh," you know, you're rattled about it. But go Dolphins. Predictions for the Super Bowl?
I think they'll three-peat. I think the score is going to be like 28-13 or something like that.
Mark that down, folks. 28-13 out of belly for the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Eagles.
Taylor Swift.
God, yeah, the Eagles, they just the Chiefs have the experience, but the Eagles, they've got a really good team this year, and Barkley's a man on a mission, so fingers crossed.
I like an answer with a little info. I like that,
Fingers
Jeff.
crossed.
So what's your score prediction?
What was yours?
28-13.
28-13.
28-13. I'll say like 21-14, but that means no field goals. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just keep it
I'm
simple
not
at
moving on
that.
until you give me a score.
There you go, 21-14.
21-14.
One touchdown difference. Get Cohen's prediction, though, because he's a football guy.
I got 36-24 Philadelphia Eagles.
36-24. Cohen's got no defense being played in the game.
No.
36-24. I don't really understand football scores. I did win a bet a bunch of years ago by picking a random thing, but I'm going to go 24-14. Chiefs. Fuck. Excuse my language.
That's actually a fair call too, because that means 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, you
which
know
could
me.
happen.
I did the math on the situation, but I'm a Swiftie, boys, so that's the way it is.
That's the
hey?
bottom line,
That's
baby.
it. Feeling 22.
All right, that's a wrap. We appreciate everyone tuning in. It's the High Button Podcast. What more do you want out of life? You sit down, you listen to us 3 talk for an hour, you have a cup of coffee, and then you go out and you conquer the day, all right? High Button Sports, dudes, Jeff, Cohen. My name is Justin. We are out. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week. We're out, pigs.